Hi, everyone, and welcome to the xChange webinar on navigating container damage, how insurance saved 3 companies 100,000 euros. My name is Caroline, and I'm very happy to see you all here today. And I'm actually Founders Associate here at Container xChange. I'm also the head of the business unit Ops Services. And what you can probably tell from my really complicated last name is that I was born and raised in Germany. And as you know, we like to be on the safer side of things, which is why I do know a thing or two about insurances. And with me today is my colleague Nico. He is our damage and insurance specialist at xChange. And if you've ever had any contact with insurances, any claims filed, anything, it's very likely that you've been in contact with him, even if you didn't know it. So he's very knowledgeable here. And before we start, I would like to ask you 1 or 2 questions. They should be popping up on the screen in just a minute. There you go. So the first one is, have you ever insured your containers? Please feel free to answer. And the second one is, did one of your containers ever get damaged or lost? I'm gonna give a couple of seconds for the answers to come in. It seems to be a bit mixed, from what I can tell, 50-50 on both things. So it's very interesting that people who've never had a container damaged join this or lost join this webinar. It sounds really interesting. I'm keen on understanding why you joined and why you found this very interesting. And it's also interesting to see that you've also already insured your containers before, which is also super interesting. So let's dive right into it. So as you all, sorry, I'm just clicking further, meet the speakers. As you all know, containers or logistics in general are a risky business. Containers can get lost at sea. They can get lost between depot and the port, if you know what I mean. They can mysteriously disappear where they're just gone and you don't know where they are. And sometimes they show back up, sometimes they don't. And they also can get damaged either by faulty handling or due to an accident. And now I want to give the word to my colleague Nico, who I've introduced already, and who is going to talk to you a little bit more about actual cases that have happened within the company that have saved our customers a lot of money. So Nico, take it away.
Okay, hello everybody. Good morning and good afternoon. I'm Nico, and I'm happy to present a couple of case studies which have happened in the past couple of years. So let's start it without any further ado. Case study number 1 was a major escalation which happened this year, where we had a big problem with a handover because there was a miscommunication with the depot, and as a result, over 100 units were lost or misplaced all across the globe. Once this case was brought up to our team, we were able to locate 20 of said units in various depots scattered. And for the lost containers, we were able to settle the DRV invoices and open the consequent insurance claims, which pretty much brought over $50,000 to be refunded. And the financial loss for the customer was reduced for almost $500,000 for all of those 100 misplaced units to less than 100,000. Okay, let's jump to case number 2. We had 2 years ago a ship collision with a bridge in Rotterdam. And as a result, 2 of the containers had fallen into water. The container value as brand new containers was relatively high, $5,000. And our claims team was able to recover 75% of this value from the insurance company, thus decreasing the financial loss of the customer from $5,000 per container to only $1,000. Jumping to case number 3, we can see here, it's an actual container picture, that a user was charged over $7,000 in damages after 4 of containers, one of which you can see on the slide, was returned in this state. Thanks to the premium insurance coverage, we were able to send an independent surveyor to inspect the units. And as a result of this inspection, majority of those damages were determined to be actually pre-existing damage and wear and tear. And thanks to this survey, the amount of damages which was charged to the user was decreased from $7,000 to just $30. And yeah, it's not a misspelling. It's actually had been a reduction to just $30, which included mostly cleaning charges, which was what was the user actually responsible for. And jumping to the final case, we had 145 containers returning damaged, and that caused 37,000 US dollars in damages, which was charged by the depot. But once again, our independent surveyors were able to come to the depot, inspect the containers with the help of the depot team. And in the end, it was determined that the depot obviously was overcharging. And with a bonus of insurance reimbursement, the user only had to pay $9,000 out of 37 total, which pretty much brought the reduction of 30K to the place. And yeah, having those cases presented, I would like to give the word back to Caroline, jumping in there.
Yes, thank you very much, Nico. I mean, you're probably wondering now, what can you do to protect yourself from these kind of cases? And the answer is actually very simple. You can insure your containers. Insuring your containers comes with a bunch of benefits. For example, as we saw before, there's always a risk when handling containers, and then insurance offers you the peace of mind that you're not exposed to 100% of it. Then the cases mentioned before are just a few examples on how insuring your containers can have a significant impact on your operational cost, and I mean a positive impact, because it's lowering your operational costs, whether that is because you can send a third-party inspector or dispute charges made to your company by the depot, for example, or to support your case towards a user or a supplier. This in turn protects the margins, and who doesn't want that? And furthermore, if you're a supplier, you can add the insurance to your offering and protect your customers from exactly these issues. However, insuring containers or insuring anything comes normally with a couple of caveats. So first of all, it's not really widely available so coverage for containers in general is not really widely available because containers are a good that gets damaged easily and gets lost also rather easily, as we've seen from the stories before. It happens a lot. And then once you found an insurance, it can take a long time to set up. I've actually heard of a case where it's taken a customer over a year from finding an insurance to actually having their first container insured, which is an incredibly long lead time. Then it's normally intransparent. Insurances send confusing invoices. There are long email threads where you have to work with multiple team members from your side and from their side, and just overall, that's the whole thing. Just makes this situation just makes everything very intransparent and difficult to follow through. And then finally, it's also very likely that there is a very difficult claims process. So you might as well hire a whole team to just work on claims management, but that's not the point. The point is you insure your containers to save money, not to get the money and then spend it on getting more money from the insurance. That's not the point. You want to protect your margins. You want to lower your operational costs, not hire more team. So why am I telling you all this? Is because we have a very simple solution combining these positive aspects and also taking care of the negative ones. And essentially, you can just insure your containers through xChange. We have an insurance that's currently covering the leasing deals, and we've also just launched a new product for insuring all your containers, whether or not they're actually traded or leased on the platform. And the benefits here are very straightforward. What you may already know from the leasing deal insurances, if you've used it before, is that insurance is very simple and easy to set up. In the leasing deal, it can be added with one click, and in the insurance manager, which I'm going to talk about a bit more in a second, it can just take 30 seconds. I've done it myself. You can insure your containers within 30 seconds, which is a very, very fast time. Then we also offer professional support. So not only do we offer professional support when it comes to finding the right insurance for you and your specific use case, but we also have an entire claims management team that is here at your side to help you and guide you through the process here, and to make sure that you are reimbursed for whatever damages have happened to your container, or whichever container is lost. And with this professional claims team in-house comes also a faster processing time, not only when filing a claim, because they've done it a lot and they know what to do and how to do it, but also when reimbursing your money, because we will reimburse you into the xChange wallet the money that the insurance approves as soon as the insurance approves it. Whereas normally it can take up to 6 weeks for the payout to come through. So you're also saving that time in the end, also giving you more cash flow and protecting your margins in this case. And finally, we have a comprehensive coverage. So in general, we offer 2 packages. We offer the basic insurance, which covers constructive total loss, which means that the container is damaged to a point where it would make no sense to repair it again. It covers general average, and it covers mysterious disappearance, which I've already mentioned before. And then we have the premium insurance, which covers all of these things on top of, and on top of this, also new impact damages. So in something, when you're when the container is being mishandled, or when like an accident happens, like I mentioned before, and damage inspection, which is also quite cool. So if you want to dispute a claim, or if you think the depot might be charging a bit too much, you can just tell us, and we will send a third-party instructor and get that sorted for you. And like I mentioned, if you're using the leasing deal, you already have it in your leasing deals. But if you want to insure the containers that are not leased or traded on the platform, is very straightforward. The insurance manager is already in your xChange platform. If you go through the navigation panel, it is on the left side, and by just clicking on insurance, you will be directed straight there. And let me just see if this works. If I click here, I hope you can still see my screen. Yes, fantastic. That looks good. So this is the page you're going to see when you click on insurance. You can see a bit more about the basic insurance here and premium insurance here. We've got some FAQs down here, and you can also download our insurance policy down here with all the details and all the prices. And what you can then do is click on learn more about premium, for example, and it will take you to this page, which we call the calculator page. So here you will see a bit more about what is covered in the premium insurance in this case, and what is not covered as well, also very important, and a bit more about bill handling. But the actual super cool thing about this site is that you can calculate how much the insurance is going to cost you without having to give any straight up details. So for example, what we can do is we can say, okay, I want 20 DC container, 15 of those I want to be insured. I want them to be picked up in Hamburg, and I want them to be insured for, let's say, 120 days, which is 2 insurance cycles. And it will tell you here that with a deductible of 100, these 15 containers to insure them would cost you about 370 euros. You can also do the exact same thing for basic insurance. By switching to basic, you will basically get switched to the lower package where impact damages is not included. Once again, you can see what is covered and what is not covered down here. And you can once again select the container type, select the quantity. I'm just going to do the exact same things. Let's say we're once again going from Hamburg, and I want this to be insured for 120 days. And you can see you would pay in total for those 120 days, 75 euros. Up until this point, no insurance has been started. This will happen on the next page. So if we click on choose basic, it will direct you to the so-called checkout page, where you are asked to download a template, and we will ask you to input. Now we need your details. We need your container number, and we need the pickup date, so the date where your insurance should start. I've already downloaded it, so I'm just going to quickly browse my files here and click on the start insurance one. You can see here, I've added this already. Pickup date has already been sorted, and we click on open, and it will automatically update everything. As you can see, we now have here 15 units with the unit price of 250 for 20 dry container. Pickup location is Hamburg. And I know I said 75 euros earlier. Now it will only start charging you for the first cycle, which is the first 60 days. So this is the charge that will appear in your wallet from now onwards. And you can also see, okay, maybe these 15 containers, they're not actually dry containers. but they're actually, I don't know, 40 DC containers, and then it will automatically update, and also your wallet will be updated. And then if you click on Start Basic Insurance in this case, you will be redirected to our dashboard. And you can see here all the containers that were uploaded, all 15. You can scroll a bit back and forth. You can also see all your insured containers here. You can see how many days they're already insured. I've input the first of September. So this is already been going for 21 days. Of course, you cannot insure something that's been in the past. And you can also click on Stop Insurance for multiple units. You can click on one insurance, and then just stop this one essentially by clicking here, and then Stop Insurance here. And then the good thing about it is this insurance will continue to run up until you've decided not to but you've decided that you don't need it anymore. So you need to it's not stopped automatically, you need to do it manually, but that protects you in cases where the journey takes a bit longer, or you're not really sure of the drop-off date. Just to be on the safe side, it will run until you tell us to stop it. And then now coming back to our presentation, there we go. Just one last word, essentially. Be safe, protect your assets, and use the xChange Manager. If you have any questions about the presentation, about the xChange Manager after this webinar, if you want to schedule a demo for your team or your managers, or if you want to give feedback on this webinar, I'm very happy to receive it. You can reach me at cpo@containerinxchange.com. And of course, this webinar will be available, made available to you as a recording, and all my contact details, and also Nico's contact details are also right there and then. And then, yeah, now I'm very excited to hear a couple of questions. I've seen there's a couple of ones that came in. Yeah, so one person asked, I think right at the beginning of the webinar before I mentioned it, can I insure my own containers that I don't lease on xChange? Yes, 100%. That's why we've created the Insurance Manager. It's specifically to insure containers that are not leased or traded on the xChange platform. So if you have 500 containers or 3, it doesn't matter. You can insure all of those through the Insurance Manager, and they will be protected from day one onwards. And they will be protected until you decide that you don't need them protected anymore. And of course, like everything that I've mentioned before, the coverage, the claims team, all support here, my support, Nico's support is there for you when you use the Insurance Manager. Do we have any other questions? I mean, you can ask them via the Q&A tab, which is at the bottom, and you can also ask them via the chat. Both works. Okay, it seems like I've done a really good job at explaining the Insurance Manager and then how insurance helped a company save their money through us. Like I mentioned, if you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to me. The recording will be made available to you, and I'm looking forward to hearing how you think insurance might benefit you, to the point where every company is different, every case is different. But insurance can benefit all of you. So if you have a super specific use case, if you think something might be a bit complex, or you're not really sure if it's covered or anything, just reach out to us. We've been working with this for quite some time now, and we can definitely answer this question. Yeah, I think then, thank you very much for joining, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Have a good rest of the day. Bye-bye.